Good morning, everybody. Good morning. That rocked, didn't it? Pun intended. For those of you that don't know, our guest speaker, this is Deborah Shea. Deborah has been working with the temple for 3 years now. She was the very first practitioner to walk in my door when I was over in the little itty-bitty suite across the way. The days when I sat in there all by myself for days on end, and the phone didn't ring, and I just sat there and I went, and Deborah called. She had heard about, somehow she'd heard about the Temple of Light, and she came in, and she was the very first practitioner that started communicating with us and being a part of our community and using the rooms to rent to see her clients. So welcome, Deborah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And for those of you that don't know Seth Pincus, he's part of the Pranan World Devotional Music, and Seth loves to come here and play his didgeridoo. And I got to tell you, when I looked down and saw that you had that crystal in front of the didge, I knew you were in for a ride.
And I right across
Nice
from it.
touch. Yeah. Do that all the time. That was just.
Yeah, the intention was that the sound was
Sweet
coming
joy.
through the crystal into the
Yeah. No,
radiating out.
I looked down and I went, whoa. So Deborah and I are going to talk about crystals today, a higher crystal consciousness. And Deborah, you've been working with crystals for a long time, haven't you?
Yeah, ever since I was young, going up into the mountains. I grew up in Colorado, and I was always picking up rocks and just fascinated with rocks. I mean, just, they had so much beautiful energy, especially, just the natural, sandstone or even granite that you find up there, just so grounding and so comforting. So it started a lifelong fascination, and it was very healing for me during my childhood as well, being, in that mountain energy and being able to connect with those crystals that could emotionally support me through, a fairly traumatic time. And, so they've always been friends to me. And then through adolescence, it was a deepening. And then late 20s, the Lemurians came on the scene, and I was just blown away. So it's been a passion, and, it's a life's mission and calling, for sure.
It is. I've only really in the last year or two started discovering just how powerful they are and how incredibly beautiful. I always admired them and thought they were beautiful, but I really have only just recently started my relationship with them at the current level that it is, and it's taken over my passion. I used to buy shoes, now I buy crystals.
Welcome.
Yeah, and I'm now the Imelda Marcos of crystals.
Welcome. Yes. Your home will be a crystal shrine.
Yes. I mean, I would have them in every corner. What I can tell you, as I bring them into the temple, what I can tell you that they do every time I bring new pieces in, the vibration that changes as they come in here. And most of you come in here and say, I don't know what it is, but it just feels good in here. Well, I can tell you, although it is the purposeful intent that myself and the people that come here with every day, the crystals have a very large contribution to why it always feels so good in here. As I mentioned during the meditation, you may or may not have heard that part, depends on how far you were out in the ethers. Crystals absorb, store, amplify, and transmit their energy at a level of intensity that is unusual for any other organic or inorganic being or consciousness or energy. And it has to do with the way that they're formed. I was trying to research it, and it got just very, very physical and chemical. It was into chemics and physics, and it didn't take long for it to go over my head. There's a couple of paragraphs into it, and I was kind of glazing over. But it's the process in which they're formed, and the energy and the pressure causes them to simply, they become their own molecular form. And that's why they're all so beautiful. Even crystal quartzites and all the different ones that are made up of the same compounds, no two are alike. And you can't say that about me. You can look at oak trees and and plants and things, and they have stronger similarities to them, but crystals have a level of uniqueness like nothing else that's created on earth. As I mentioned during the meditation, they are here to serve us. And as Deborah and I have been talking about, the ones that are coming present, that are being mined now and being stored into gift shops and warehouses and are coming into our hands, they're at different vibrational levels than the ones that have been present before. So I'm going to share a few things that I found when I was doing some research. And I'll turn it over to Deborah. The gentleman, he founded his own company called Luminescence. And then he went and worked for IBM for about 27, 30 years before he retired. His name is Marcel Vogel, and sometimes referred to as Dr. Vogel. And this is a quote that I found from him that I thought was just beautiful. So if you'll bear with me, I'd like to read this to you. And this is how he says, it summarizes the functions of crystals. The crystal is a neutral object whose inner structure exhibits a state of perfection and balance. When it is cut to the proper form and when the human mind enters into a relationship with its structural perfection, the crystal emits a vibration which extends and amplifies the powers of the user's mind, like a laser radiates energy in a coherent, highly concentrated form. This energy may be transmitted into objects or people at will. Its higher purpose is in the service of humanity for the removal of pain and suffering. With proper training, a person can release negative thought forms which have taken shape as disease patterns in their physical body. The crystal works much the same way that a laser does. It takes scattered rays of energy and makes the energy field so coherent and unidirectional that a tremendous force is generated, one that is much stronger than if the energies were allowed to be emitted without having come into coherence. The crystal then, when used with love and intention, makes the energies into a pattern exactly fitting to life, energies of the person seeking to be healed, then amplifies them for the healing process. Pretty well compartmentalized, isn't it? Good. So Deborah Shea is going to talk to us about some crystals, and then I'll take over after that, and we'll probably do a little bit back and forth.
I love that.
Do you have the mic?
Yeah, I'm going to grab this little basket here.
Okay. And Deborah and I both got up this morning and were told to wear gold and purple. And we both put on, without sending each other a memo, we both put on amethyst and citrine necklaces.
That is awesome. When you pointed that out, I just went chills just all the way up and down. And I went to use the restroom before the services, and I was coming back, and the Spirit was really filling me. Just so much love and just connection. So it's all these little synchronicities. That you really know that you're part of the greater whole. So I just love things like that. It's like when we open ourselves up, magic happens. Mm-hmm. In just, the smallest of things can be, so powerful. So that was awesome. I really appreciate that.
Do you want the mic or no? Yeah.
Can everybody hear me or?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I'll use it without. So I'm just so filled with joy that I'm able to be here with you today. The crystal and mineral kingdom, as Danielle mentioned, is just such amazing and powerful allies to us. We're in a very special, transformative time in the history of the earth. We all know this. We all know that we are light beings doing the work of the light in our present timing, and we came into this our incarnation. This is a very special time for the shift into the higher consciousness, or shifting into the fifth dimensional consciousness, which is heart-centered, where things manifest instantly. So when Danielle talks about the power of thought and what you think creates, in the fifth dimension, it's instantaneous. And so you can see, even in your lives now, that that is happening faster and faster. Well, the crystal and mineral kingdom, they, as Danielle mentioned, are beings also. So in my connections with them, what they feel is very important to convey is their co-creation of this new reality.